Hey, all right, Tim. Right now I'm with Ross, and Ross is the current director of community development with Bonham. And the exciting thing, Ross used to be one of the key players in my city, Anna, Texas, and the growth there is crazy right now. Nate Pike, the mayor, and I are friends too. Amazing growth. So it is exciting. Is also the director in Bonham, Texas. So back to you.
Sure.
All right. So
So, what do you want to know?
So let's start with why do you think it makes sense to consider Bonham as an investment
Sure.
city? What's your take on it?
Well, right now, as you know, Bonham is one of those cities in which our development is old at this point. So there hasn't been much new development. I think that there is a need as well as a want from the community. So the community is open. We're very business friendly, very residential friendly. Currently, right now, we don't have any impact fees. So that is something that's good for the development community. When they come in, they don't have to worry about sewer or roadway or water impact fees. That will be changing though in the near future. Our current development regulations are fairly laxed. However, we're in the process of updating those, similar to what I did in the city of Anna. I think we're pro-business, we're pro-development, and it's one of those things. We have a fairly fast, streamlined approval process, where in other communities it may take months. It may take half of a year to get through. Where I'm used to a process where a developer comes in, they meet with the city, we provide them the process, and it gets done within 2 months, 3 months, the approval process, of course. But I think it's one of those things. We have some, major corridors that run through the city. We have a strong downtown, which is, currently under redevelopment at this time. So you have the courthouse in the middle, you have the McKinney Square. So when you think about McKinney 20 years ago, the McKinney downtown wasn't the McKinney downtown that it is today. So we see some similarities there. We do have, like I mentioned, we have some older residential growth. So I think that there is a need for new residential homes, and that's something where there's a lot of vacant land, a lot of raw land out there inside our ETJ and our city limits. So water and utilities, granted, there are locations that may need to be extensions, but it's a case by case. It all depends where it's located. I know there's a commitment from city leadership to ensure that we're having, when new development's coming in, to make sure that we have, the parks and the things that new residents, new neighbors are looking for. They're looking for, the good school systems. They're looking for the parks and recreation abilities. They're looking for the city services. At this time, we're only 10,000, 11,000, the population. So I think, once you get a few new residential developments that come in, then you'll see the turn. And that's what similar happened to Anna. When I started in Anna, I think there was roughly 14,000 people at the beginning, and now it's at 24 to 28,000. Right. So it can change, and I was only there for 4.5 years. So it can change fairly quickly. Now I see here it's a little bit different because, again, we're not in close proximity. Similar to there, it was McKinney, and you had the Salina, you had that surrounding the Metroplex per se. But here with the Sherman, I think people will realize that they don't want to be in an urban environment. They want more of a rural setting. And here we can offer that, where you still get the small town feel. People here, I find it interesting. They go out of their way. It's actually genuine. People are actually genuine. They're friendly. They want to know about you. They actually care where you're coming from, and it's actually a breath of fresh air.
That's awesome.
But we do have our major roadways. We have 82 that runs east west on the north. We have 121. We have 78. 121 is going to be expanding in the near future, where that's going to be 4 lanes all the way up into Bonham. So I think it's one of those things where whoever comes in now or comes in early, they'll probably get the better deal, because once development happens, as just deals become a little bit lesser and lesser because we're a little bit more selective. But right now the city is we're wanting they're wanting that growth, and I think our residents are wanting that growth too.
What do you see from an impact of, like Lake Bodak, there's Bonham Lake,
Mhm.
and what's the economic impact we've seen generally?
Sure. So I think it's still early. I know that you're going to have a lot of individuals that are coming from the Metroplex or even, from the Sherman, Denison area to use the boat facility. So you'll see a lot more development happening on 82 as well as on, 121. So, those individuals that go out to the lake, they're going to need gas, they're going to need something to eat, they're going to need places to shop potentially. It opens up the ability, for more, potentially campgrounds, things of that nature, more outdoor activities that the city can, basically go after. I know Bonham Lake right now, we have our town park, our city park that's there that, we're in the process of looking at how we can make improvements to it. Where on the summers, we can maybe have concerts at the lake. Where we can have food truck events. I know we have currently right now we have a 4th of July celebration, but we want to expand upon that on Bonham Lake. But both of those properties, even though they're zoned, they're still in our ETJ. So you think about they're a little further out. But I do see the economic impact happening along 82, because there's going to be that much more traffic that's going to be coming.
Thank you so much. And the final question before we wrap it up, if you had a crystal ball, which we don't all have right now, what would you say in 5 years? What do you see? Because we saw Anna just exploded crazy.
Sure.
I
think it's one of those things. I think in 5 years, I think the next 2 years we'll have probably those initial subdivisions that come in where you're going to have, because currently right now we have a DR Horton is going to be coming in and developing a small 58 lot residential subdivision. If those units sell fast, I think you're going to then have the Bloomfields coming up. You're going to have all the other, big time developers, mass market residential developers coming in because they're going to realize there is a demand and that they can sell their product. Because right now it's one of those things, land is cheaper up here. So once they start noticing that they can sell their product quicker. So I would say in 5 years, I would think that's when the start of the major growth will probably be. I think it's going to start trickling in within a year, 2 years, and then it's going to pick up some steam. But then in 5 years, that's when the city's going to start seeing that growth. And again, I don't think it's going to be as significant as Anna's growth, but I do think it's still going to be impressive and something that hasn't been seen in Fannin County. It's going to be impressive. It's still going to be significant.
And the final one, let me sneak this in.
Sure.
Is, from a business point of view, if you were to say top 3 business needs at the moment, what would those be for you?
Well, I think it's one of those when you're looking at retail. Retail is big, but again, the city, we're open to any type. If there's manufacturing, if there's office, something where, again, I'm not an economic developer. That's where Joey, I think, would be better. But I think when you talk to the residents here, retail is always something that is looked highly upon. Everybody wants another type of grocery store to go to. Everybody wants sit-down restaurants. However, as a city tax base, yes, if we had some type of office or manufacturing, because we do have some large tracts of land that can accommodate that. But again, I think the city we're open to any,
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Ross. We are excited. Thanks for your service, Ross. And you contributed so much to the growth of Collin County, Anna, Texas specifically. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for spending the time in a short notice to speak with me. And team, this is going to be amazing. Every reason to be part of the growth and development in Bonham, Texas. Thank you, everybody.